The past assignment have required us to do an essay by selecting a topic out of the three that's been nominated. And I have chose to do the topic called What Does It Mean to Be Made in the Image of God? And the reason of this selection is not because that I am confident with that topic, but it's really because that I do have this question deep inside my heart about what does it really mean to be made in the image of God. And after all these readings and researches, I have realized the criticality that is for a Christian to have a precise understanding of the true meaning of this short statement in the very first chapter of the Bible. And this presentation will be structured to correlate my topic to my life and vocation. And I understand there are three main views of Imago Dei that's been interpreted in theology, namely substantive view, relational view, and functional view. But in this presentation, I'll be mainly just focused on substantive view and how this helping me changing my worldview in my life and vocation in such a short period of time. Before we moving on a bit further, I want to give a quick introduction about myself, because otherwise you wouldn't know how great and in what way to understand substantive view of Imago Dei helped me and changed my life. If you don't even know what my life is, what my vocation is, and etc. So um, basically, I'm a full-time project engineer who's working in the civil infrastructure industry for over 7 years. And I have been through many projects, such as road upgrade, mine ramp upgrade, and also building levees, so flood protection, building foundations for hospitals, rail construction, NBN rollout. Pretty much most of the outsiders think what a civil engineer can do. I have done it more or less. And at the same time, I am an elder. I'm a leader of my local Chinese church. And I'm also leading the praise and worship team, um, and also a live group. Fortunately, that's only every second week. And obviously, you can't switch off this role because you still need to do all the pastoral care and all the rest of it. And also preaching sermons monthly. And this is going to get increased over time. And at the same time, I have a family, wife and two boys, 4 and 6 years old, and you know what they're like at that age. And also, it's not finished yet. At the same time, I have two old parents who just moved over temporarily to live with us, um, and they also got severe body conditions, which heavily affecting the way of acting and moving, which means they are require our attention and time to look after. And yeah, I can tell you, my life can be a shocker to most people at my age, including myself. But throughout these readings and findings of Imago Dei, I I actually find myself can even live a flourishing life under all these type of circumstances with a right heart. I know now you might want to think, well, how do you correlate this Imago Dei to your vocation? Yeah, let me lay it out for you. So, as you know, I'm a senior construction engineer, and I think most of you already know that construction is a really tough industry, and it can be even harder for a Chinese guy who was moved to Australia at his 14th birthday by himself. Let's put discrimination or those kind of things aside. I'm solely just referring to how to fit into this Australian culture authentically. And why I mention this word authentic, because the two main type of people I'm dealing with in daily basis are the ones that a lot of Australian people can't even deal with and or not willing to deal with, being the bogans and the snakes. And all this can be understood as the people who are less educated, or maybe not even necessarily less educated, or maybe just rough in actions, and the way they got brought up are just different, and the way they're acting and talking from inside out are just a bit rougher than what the normal, usual people would do. And the other type is the politicians, who are constantly trying to take the least responsibility and make the most glory by crucifying their employees. And that's what type of people I've been dealing with. And you see nowadays there are a lot of them in this industry. And in this kind of working environment, I have learned to be tough and sharp. And even some people might see me being ruthless in some situations. And also, on the other hand, I've also learned to choose the right party at work and quickly fit into the different teams by meeting their interest in the ways I'm talking, acting, thinking, and reacting, etc. You see, all these things I have been dealing with are slowly wearing me out every day. And lately I have been a lot less patient to people around me at work, especially to people who are working under me, for me, or the ones I don't like. This can be seen in the way I'm talking to them, less aware of the selection of the words I'm using, and attitude, obviously. The disrespect feeling to people from different classes have slowly come out, and I can't seem to stop that feeling other than keep getting that guilty feeling from Holy Spirit. And this situation was not changed until after the learning about the substantive view of image of God, which then I have found that we are made in the image of God and just alike God in some ways that I'm not be able to identify visually, or even if I can, but it would still be obvious and even requires some power of Holy Spirit to assist to determine it. But in substantive view, it interprets the image of the image and likeness of God that the mankind is made to is a resemblance of God himself, mentally, spiritually, and also physically. The evidence being that the word image in Hebrew means something that is carved or cut out of. Also in Genesis chapter 5 and 3, it says, when Adam has a son, he fathered a son in his own likeness, after his image, just as Seth bore resemblance of his father, so Adam did to God. And more evidence and findings from many theologians are not to be specified one by one in here, otherwise we will keep doing that for the whole day. After that, I have been started to regain the ability to respect the people that I found were hard to deal with and hard to bear with before, as I know that the guy or girl that I was about to get mad at or impatient to are made of the image of God, not just in an unobvious way that I used to think, but is in a way that is showing of the image bearer resemblance of the Father in appearance wise, spiritual wise, mentally wise, as godlike and is holistically. Um, this interpretation has literally dragged a simple sentence in the Bible into my entire life when interacting with people, especially the ones outside the church. Why do I say that? Because when you go to church, you know what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to respect people, and you call their brothers and sisters and all etc. But when becomes a problem is when you're going to the place that's outside the church, which is my vocation in this case as a senior construction engineer. So yeah, or you might say uh, this idea actually brought all virtual opinions into every single phase of my life. As I know the person now I'm about to maybe curse or disrespect, I actually bear the likeness of the one I am going to worship on the stage on Sunday service. And it does not matter if he or she is a cleaner, or worker, or labor, operator, or the bogan I was talking about, and snake. Doesn't matter. They are all made in the image of God, like what myself is made too. We are made in the image of God, as to represent His presence, and the managerial role on earth. But if I can't even respect the people who are made to His likeness, how can I live a flourishing life? And not even to talk about bringing flourishing into the industry. I like when Frederick Buechner interpreted that the meaning of vocation is that the place God calls you is the place where you deep gladness and the words deep hunger meet. So, which means that place I am in now is not only for making few more dollars, but is where the world needs Jesus. Since then, the question I have asked to myself is, if I can't even show respect to people around me at my vocation as an engineer, whose that those people are made in the image of God, how can I bring flourishing to the industry itself? The answer is no. So in conclusion, I have found that this is very important to have a good understanding and precise understanding of the term Imago Dei. And this is also extremely helpful for Christian to realign their thoughts in a healthy way in the vocations to what God wants instead of what I want, and in order to live a flourishing life and to bring in flourishing to your vocation, to glorify God. And this is my presentation. Thank you.